Hello, everybody. This is Szántai Gábor, and it is the Hungarian History Podcast. And I would like to greet you and wish you a happy new year, nice and blessed, and very wealthy and nice 2026. This is going to be a casual podcast. I haven't drafted it, and it is a kind of spontaneous account of the year that I have finished, and would like to share my ideas and thoughts about the future, and talking about success and hardships and all kinds of exciting things. And I think it should be interesting to you because everything is about you, because you are the ones who are interested in Hungarian history, and there are tens of thousands of people who are concerned about that. First of all, let me tell you that this podcast is just a part of a system of platforms uh, about Hungarian history as it is. I launched it in April 2026, and since it has been growing rapidly, thanks to you, and I have covered topics about the Hungarian Ottoman Wars, and I have interviewed authors and historians, and I had a sub-chapter of series about people whose relatives survived 1956, and I interviewed lots of people from many continents about that. But this podcast, it is just part of the whole activity. Um, some data about that. Um, Only on Spotify I have 450 or so listeners already, and it has been streamlined 6,000 times or more if I add the subtract listeners. This number is the double, so it can be considered filling a very huge gap, because this is the only Hungarian history podcast focusing entirely on Hungarian history. Many of you know that I am not a historian, but I have gained lots of experience by traveling to Transylvania and Slovakia and other parts of Hungary a lot, and including the United States. My degree is about organizing cultural events, and I am in adult education and community organization. And yes, 10 years ago I started this work and on Facebook, when I realized that there is a gap to be filled, because there is no trace of Hungarian history on community pages like Facebook. And since that time, I am happy to say that we have almost 57,000 followers on the Facebook page Hungarian History, reaching out organically about 1.4, 1.7 million people per month. It's an outstanding data, and additionally, we have two groups there uh, where we can discuss the Hungarian history. Uh, Altogether, there are about 42, 41,000 people who are members of these groups. And basically, all the posts and articles are archived on my standalone self-hosted web page, where I have those 1070 articles I wrote in these 10 years, and there I can call your attention to the collection of Hungarian castles in the Carpathian Basin. inside Hungary and in the neighboring states as well, that I organized and described and placed on the map visually. And each castle has a description. And now I have 418 described, and hundreds are waiting to be described, of course. And because it's very important to show people what we have, what treasury we have, because there is no such an archive on the internet yet in English language. Um, Additionally, these castles can be found on Google Maps, where almost uh, 500,000 people have viewed it. We can see a global community is being built, and it is the time that it should be expanded, because there are hardships, not only this success. And now let me share some personal thoughts about myself that played a vital role in this process mainly during the last 3 years. Talking about my personal hardships is not out of place, because I don't want to let this project go, because I have simply piled up too much information and reached out to too many people to let it fade away. So let me explain you why this whole digital system has to be turned into a movement. The troubles began in 2023 when I was diagnosed with diabetes. But fortunately, I could handle it with diet. Then more difficult and serious things followed suit, and I was taken to hospital uh, with a sigmoid colon cancer, and I had a surgery. And after the surgery, I received the necessary treatments, such as the chemotherapy and the radiotherapy, and which lasted for a year almost. In the meantime, I couldn't focus very much on earning money, of course, and my life was very hard. This year has been particularly hectic because doctors figured out that this tumor may have returned, but they couldn't decide it. So they were sending me to test, to MRI and CT tests, but they couldn't find out what is the reality. So I am facing this January the MRI and CT tests again, and the return of the tumor remains to be seen yet. Most annoyingly, I have developed a kind of IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, which has been tormenting me for half a year now. I hope it is not connected to these other things. And I have had recently a kind of heart problem, which is a kind of irregular heartbeat. And I had to go to the urgency, to the hospital with that. So these things rose the question that what if I passed away? Who will continue this work? Will it just disappear to the blue, or I should put it to you and give it to the hand of people who might be able to continue in case I am not in this world? I apologize because nobody likes talking about these kind of diseases, but these things strongly influenced the work, my passion, that I consider my mission, which is spreading Hungarian history in digital space. Everybody knows that if something is not on the internet or not on social media, it is simply not existing for modern people who mainly take their information more than 70% from these platforms. And talking about this project, so in the English language global digital space, where historical discourse takes place, Hungary's voice is practically inaudible. So it is not a kind of theoretical statement, it is a fact, because many, um, how to say, other neighboring states platforms like Romanian and Slovakian ones uh, are spreading their narrative, and they operate dozens of pages with millions of reach, organized, while the authentic Hungarian perspective is almost entirely absent. This is a strategic blind spot and seriously jeopardizes Hungarian cultural interests, the relationship with the diaspora, and the country's image. And yes, this is an institutional vacuum because there are no institutions in Hungary or in the diaspora who would care about this thing, which saddens me very much. And this vacuum has been filled over the past 10 years by the Hungarian History Project alone. And it has grown actually as an independent civil initiative into the world's largest English language digital platform for Hungarian history. So it is not just kind of plan, but it is a working thing. It's already in operation, and it's provenly successful, uh, even in the absence of institutional support. Simply, the thing is that the competition is huge, and there are Hungarian institutions who declared that they care about Hungarian narrative, but they don't give a darn, as it is, and plainly saying, I have never understood that. Come on, there are plenty of noble institutions with more resources, with better language skills, with lots of professional experts and backgrounds and what's not, and it is even their job, and they don't do this. And uh, why I should be single-handedly take care about this whole project alone? Now it has come to an end, and I am involving more and more people because my work has become a movement. Well, to tell you examples, the competition works hard. There are anti-Hungarian posts and pages, maybe both pages as well, where Hungarians' role is marginalized or omitted from history, trying to put Hungarian history into a negative context, to promote some national or chauvinist concepts, unfortunately. And there are also other symptoms like the Western European and the Eastern approaches, where the role of Hungarian history is not portrayed on its proper place. Turkish pages and Eastern pages uh, don't really appreciate Hungarian's history, and the German or Anglo-Saxon sources uh, concentrate on the Habsburgs uh, in fighting back the Ottoman Empire and Hungary doesn't receive its proper importance, and it has consequences. Well, as a result, for a curious Western or Eastern reader, Hungarian history is not integrated into the Western or Eastern historical picture with its proper weight. This is not merely a diversion of attention, but a qualitative distortion of historical reality. On the other hand, there are some pages of the Hungarian diaspora. Many of them who don't speak Hungarian already. There are millions of people like them, and the Hungarian diaspora maintains numerous digital communities that play a valuable connecting role. However, the primary purpose of these groups is nurturing community ties and sharing contemporary Hungary culture like gastronomy, travel, current news, and these platforms typically neither undertake nor are capable of fulfilling the task of the systematic, source based, and educational dissemination of Hungarian history. So, in fact, for a third generation young person born in the diaspora who thinks in English, there is no entry point to a deeper historical identity. The entertaining groups are too shallow, while academic publications and institutional websites are too abstract uh, and or they are in Hungarian language. So this leaves a significant content gap that interested members of the diaspora cannot fill. And in Hungary, as I have told you, there is an institutional vacuum, um, and sadly, the global promotion of Hungarian history is officially a high priority national objective which is not fulfilled. Uh, there are domestic campaigns and institutions aimed at strengthening historical consciousness, and there is an almost complete institutional blind spot regarding the systematic English language digital dissemination of this very narrative. So it reveals a fundamental strategic disconnect where practically no link exists between the officially declared national goal, making history known, and its single most effective modern tool, the global digital space. So, unfortunately, I have tried to reach out to these institutions in Hungary and in abroad as well, and I failed. My serious proposal was turned down from Cleveland, the United States, and it was turned down in Hungary from the relevant ministries or state bodies. And there are, of course, political thinking behind these things, I guess, because one kind of people don't think I am Hungarian enough, other people think I am too Hungarian. So, as it is not a um, political platform, but very important in order to um, survive our Hungarian community, which is a declared goal of the politicians or organizations, let them be in Cleveland or in Budapest. So these rejections have disheartened me very much. There is one more thing which is very important. It is the defense of Hungarian minorities living around Hungary. Whether you know or not, in the last 100 years, about 1 million Hungarian speaking people disappeared from those countries by assimilation or mass deportation, murder, or whatever, or they just left the countries. And now, whoever left there should be protected, and their rights and their interests should be represented in the global world, uh, because half of Hungarian history took place on territories which are located in North Hungary or in Transylvania, for example. So it should be very important to communicate this part of the project as well. In short, I feel a little bit betrayed, and I feel that these things, these people, these goals, I mean, defending the Hungarian interests worldwide and defending the Hungarian interest of Hungarian minorities are neglected and taken advantage of. And it doesn't stop me. And of course, it just gave me fuel to go on with my work. And your feedback has been very powerful because the page and these platforms are growing rapidly, which I am very grateful to you and to God. So there is a gap to be filled, and it will be filled. And there is one more important thing. This movement, this Hungarian history movement, is open to anyone who is non-Hungarian. For example, in my Facebook groups, there are even Romanian and Slovakian admins who uh, who like the independent history, and they support this activity, and they are not hungerphobe. I mean, they don't hate Hungarians, and they are friendly, and without them it is very difficult to make consolidation in this area. And historically speaking, we have lots of debates to be settled, and many of these debates can be settled with the involvement of helping non-Hungarians. So I would like here to thank them for their involvement, because many of them are good people, open-minded, and not Hungarian eaters. Yes, I should mention some threats I am receiving. Even my life was threatened, and not there are some people who don't like me, not just trolls from hostile nations or extremists, but Hungarian people. Not all Hungarian people love me, and it is understandable. But I don't want to be loved by everybody, of course. And uh, yes, it is hard to fight against my own kind sometimes, because they think I don't represent the ancient Hungarian, Scythian, Hunnish, Sumerian approach, or sometimes they say I am too liberal, and other people say I am too nationalist, or even worse. But besides, I receive lots of support from the diaspora members, and I would like uh, to express my warm thanks to people living in other continents, other countries with Hungarian ties, who realize the need of my work, and they are giving me constant support. So in the following months, uh, this work is going to be extended. More people will be involved, and if God grants me good health, then changes will be seen, good changes. And I hope you are with me and stay with me, share this work, join in if you can. All kinds of help is very welcome, or prayers, or advice, or corrections. So just please join, share, and follow it. Thank you very much, and I wish you again a very happy and blessed New Year, new 2026. Goodbye. It was the Hungarian History Podcast, already a movement, with Szántai Gábor speaking. Sziasztok, goodbye, viszont hallásra.